Imagine standing at the edge of a riverbank where the whisper of water meets the echoes of a powerful past. This riverbank, located on the Georgia coast in the United States, holds the untold story of one of the most heroic and significant moments in African and African American history, the Igbo Landing. Today, we are diving deep into this historical event and its lasting significance for both the African and African American communities. The Igbo Landing is the site of a mass suicide by enslaved Igbo people in 1803. The tragic yet defiant event took place on St. Simon's Island, Georgia, and has become a powerful symbol of resistance against slavery and oppression. To understand the full significance of this event, we need to take a journey back in time to the early 19th century when the transatlantic slave trade was in full force. By 1803, millions of Africans had been forcefully removed from their homeland and transported to the Americas to work as slaves on plantations. The Igbo people from present-day southeastern Nigeria were known for their strong sense of identity, resistance to oppression, and deep spiritual beliefs. When a group of Igbo people found themselves aboard a slave ship bound for the United States, they would soon make a decision that would resonate through history. In May 1803, a group of about 75 Igbo captives was brought to the United States after being sold to British slave traders. After enduring the horrific conditions of the Middle Passage, a journey across the Atlantic Ocean where countless Africans perished, the Igbo captives arrived in Savannah, Georgia. From there, they were purchased by two American plantation owners, John Cooper and Thomas Spalding, who intended to use them as laborers on their plantations. The Igbo people were loaded onto a small vessel, the Morovia, which was set to transport them to their final destination, the plantations on St. Simon's Island. However, the Igbo had other plans. As the Igbo captives sailed towards their enslaved future, they made a bold and dramatic decision. In an act of rebellion, they overpowered the crew aboard the Morovia, killing the captain and several sailors. This uprising is significant because it demonstrates the Igbo's refusal to submit to slavery, even when faced with the brutal reality of their situation. Yet, even though they had taken control of the ship, the Igbo people found themselves in unfamiliar territory, far from their homeland and unable to navigate the waters of Georgia. The ship eventually ran aground at Dunbar Creek on St. Simon's Island, where the Igbo captives would make their final stand. Upon reaching the shores of St. Simon's Island, the Igbo people were faced with an impossible choice: a life of enslavement in a foreign land or death on their own terms. In a stunning and heartbreaking act of collective resistance, the Igbo captives chose to walk into the waters of Dunbar Creek and drown themselves rather than submit to a life of bondage. According to oral history, the Igbo sang traditional songs and chants as they walked into the water, invoking the power of their ancestors and spirits. One of the most famous refrains from this story is a line reportedly sung by the Igbo, translating to, "The water spirit brought us, the water spirit will take us home." This act of defiance has become one of the most significant mass suicides of enslaved people in history and remains a powerful symbol of resistance against slavery. The decision of the Igbo captives to take their own lives instead of becoming slaves was not just an act of resistance, it was deeply rooted in their spiritual and cultural beliefs. The Igbo people held strong beliefs in the power of the afterlife and ancestral spirits. For them, to die in resistance to enslavement was not a defeat, but a return to their homeland, where their spirits could reunite with their ancestors. The notion of Chi, a personal spiritual guardian in Igbo cosmology, played a significant role in the decision-making process of these captives. In Igbo culture, a person's Chi guides them through life and even into the afterlife by walking into the water and embracing death. The Igbo captives believed that they were reclaiming their spiritual autonomy and preventing their Chi from being enslaved along with their physical body. This spiritual dimension gives the Igbo Landing a profound significance beyond its historical context. It becomes a story of self-determination, cultural integrity, and the refusal to be dehumanized, even in the face of unspeakable horrors. Though the story of the Igbo Landing is historically documented, much of its impact lives on in African American folklore and cultural memory. Over the years, the tale of the Igbo Landing has been passed down through generations, becoming a powerful symbol of defiance and resilience in the African American community. In Gola culture, descendants of enslaved Africans in the Low Country regions of Georgia and South Carolina, the story of the Igbo Landing is intertwined with spiritual beliefs and oral traditions. Many Gola people believe that the spirit of the Igbo who perished at the landing remain at Dunbar Creek, watching over the island and serving as a reminder of their ancestors' bravery. The story has also made its way into various forms of art, music, and literature. Toni Morrison's novel, Song of Solomon, references the event, and the Igbo Landing has been memorialized in works of visual art and documentaries. Most recently, the story found a new audience through the song Love Drought by Beyoncé, which makes a subtle or poignant reference to the Igbo Landing and its enduring legacy of resistance. Like many significant historical events, the Igbo Landing has not been without its share of controversy. Some historians have questioned the specifics of the event, particularly the number of captives involved and the precise details of the rebellion. However, most agree that the core narrative, a group of Igbo people resisting enslavement by choosing death over bondage, remains a powerful and verifiable part of history. The event was not widely documented at the time, as records from the transatlantic slave trade were often incomplete or intentionally vague. Much of what we know today comes from oral histories passed down by descendants of those enslaved and by the Gola community. These oral traditions have helped fill in the gaps left by official records, providing a rich and culturally significant layer to the Igbo Landing story. The Igbo Landing stands as a powerful testament to the resilience and strength of African people in the face of unimaginable suffering. For African Americans, particularly those in the Gola community, it serves as a reminder of the indomitable spirit of their ancestors. The story of the Igbo Landing represents a refusal to be broken, even when every other choice has been stripped away. Moreover, the event is a poignant symbol of the broader struggles faced by Africans brought to the Americans during the transatlantic slave trade. It highlights the courage of individuals who, even in their darkest hour, refused to submit to dehumanization and chose instead to assert their dignity in the most profound way possible. In modern times, the Igbo Landing has become a site of pilgrimage for those seeking to honor the memory of Igbo captives and the countless other Africans who suffered during the transatlantic slave trade. The event is commemorated annually with ceremonies and memorials held at Dunbar Creek, where visitors pay their respects and reflect on the legacy of those who perished. The Igbo Landing has also gained recognition beyond the Gola community, with scholars, artists, and activists drawing attention to its significance as a symbol of resistance. In 2002, the state of Georgia installed a historical marker at the site, officially acknowledging the event and its importance in American history. The story of the Igbo Landing is not just a historical foothold, it is a living, breathing reminder of the strength of African culture and the enduring fight for freedom and dignity. For viewers of Ebony People TV, this story resonates deeply, particularly as we celebrate the resilience and triumphs of the Igbo people. In a world where the effects of colonialism, racism, and inequality are still felt, the Igbo Landing serves as an inspiring example of how cultural identity, spirituality, and the human spirit can triumph over even the most oppressive circumstances. The story of the Igbo captives who chose death over enslavement continues to inspire people across the globe, reminding us that the fight for justice, dignity, and freedom is far from over. As we close this chapter on the untold story of the Igbo Landing, let us remember the courage of the Igbo people who refused to let their spirits be broken. Their legacy is not one of defeat, but of triumph, a triumph of will, of faith, and of the human spirit. This is a story that deserves to be told, shared, and remembered for generations to come. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the past, and remember to like, share, and comment on this video. We at Ebony People TV are committed to bringing you more inspiring stories from our rich African heritage. Until next time, stay connected, stay informed, and never forget the power of your history. Igbo Kwenu!